Well, welcome to my first attempt at recording a video. Please bear with me if it doesn't go well, but we're going to be recording my lesson 11, and my first page here is just a whole bunch of formulas that you're pretty aware of. First, the distance formula, and then the equation of a circle, where HK is the center and R is the radius, slope of a line, three forms of the equation of a line, and there's slope-intercept, there's point-slope form, and there's standard form. If you recall back in geometry, the C was on the other side for a distance from a point in a line. We'll probably revisit that on the next slide. And parallel slopes are the same here, and perpendicular slopes have a product of -1. Your midpoint formula, my angle of inclination is my angle up from the horizontal. We're going to find that coming up here on the next slide also. On this one we have our two formulas to find the equation of a line, and given the point and the slope-intercept form. And then the second one was the equation of the line in general form. And if you recall, that C was on the other side. So that's the two formulas that I think you should have already. And if not, you can pause it and write those down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to write this first example and see how that goes. Suppose that a line is such that the value of its x-intercept is twice the value of its y-intercept, and that it passes through the point 1, 3. Determine the equation of that line and the angle of inclination and the distance from the origin. Let's see here. If I look at that first bit of information that the x-intercept is twice the value of the y-intercept, we see that we get a line or a slope that looks like that. So we know that our slope is -1/2. If I add the point 1, 3 to my point slope form, I get y minus 3 equals -1/2 times the quantity x minus 1. And if I do a little bit of solving here, I get y equals -1/2 x plus 7/2. If I graph that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7/2 would be 3.5. So it's going to look something like that. And let's take a look at the first thing they ask me to find is my angle of inclination. We know that if we have a slope here, let's make a little triangle here. We know that the slope is going to be 2 to the -1 we have there. So if I find that slope, I'm going to take the inverse tangent of the opposite over the adjacent, which gives me an angle of -26.6. Now we know that when I talked about the angle of inclination, we talked about that it would be a positive angle. And so I'm going to have to see, hey, this angle going this way is my -26. I want to know what the angle is going up that way, or going up that way. And so if I add 180 degrees to that, because the straight line is 180 degrees, I can get that it is 153.4 degrees, just adding 180 to that. And then the last thing they want me to do is to find the distance the origin is from the line. So we're going to use one of the formulas that are above, and let's use, I don't know, let's use this one up here, I guess. I don't know. So if I'm going to write that down, I'm going to say my slope times, well, the point that I'm going through is going through the point 0, 0, so my distance is going to end up being the absolute value of -1/2 times 0 plus 7/2 minus 0 all over the square root of 1 plus -1/2 squared. And let's go back and look at that formula. So I'm must be using that one right there. And if I do a little bit of simplifying there, it looks like I get 7/2 divided by the square root of 5/4, which is the same as 7/2 times square root of 4 is 2 over the square root of 5. Looks like I get 7 over the square root of 5. Rationalize, of course, so that would be your distance. Alright, pause if you need to at any time. 3 points determine a unique circle. So if I wanted to find out the circle that passes through those 3 points, I'm going to use the general form of my circle all foiled out. Let me show that to you. We have a DE or DX plus EY equals F equals 0. So that's our general form. And remember in class, I don't know if we did it with a circle or what we did it with, but we completed the square to get some of those if you knew the center, to find the center. Well, in this case, we only know 3 points. So let's do plugging in here. If I know from our first point, I'm going to get -12 squared plus 1 squared plus D times -12 plus E times 1 plus F equals 0. I simplify that, I get 1. And again, you can pause this and do it yourself. I get -12 D plus E plus F equals -145. If I do the same with the other 2 points, I come up with equations 2D plus E plus F equals 5. And the third point, 0, 7, I'm going to end up with the point or the equation 7E plus F equals -49. Now, we have 3 equations with 3 unknowns, and we've solved something like that in the past. So what I did was I put it in a matrix with the third equation in the first position because it's already got a 0 there. And so I get the matrix that looks like that. And then I took some time to put that in reduced, or put it in row echelon form, and then I could solve for them, which made it relatively easy. Which told me when I got done that my x value was -5 I got that my D value was -5. No. Pause. So when we solve this, make sure I put my negative back in there on that one. When we solve this, we get D is equal to 10, E is equal to -4, and F is equal to -21. So let's take that and grab that and let's throw it into another equation on a different page. So if I throw it into a different page, I end up with x squared plus y squared plus 10x minus 4y minus 21 equals 0. And we're going to complete the square on that to get it in vertex form. And so I'm going to write it with my x terms together, my y terms together, and I'm going to have, remember we use b divided by 2 squared to get all the c values, so 10 divided by 2 is 5, 5 squared is 25. If I add it to one side, I have to add it to the other. Half of -4 is -2, 2 squared is 4, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And so when I complete the square, write it in vertex form, I get x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 50. And so we know that because of that the center of our circle is at the point 5, 2, and that the radius of this is root 50 or 5 root 2. All right, let's go back. And we got both of those. So then we're going to find from a point 8, 0 is drawn, 8, 1 is drawn tangent to the circle at x squared plus y squared equals 20. We want to find the possible slope of that tangent line. So just to start with, I want to draw a picture, and we know that we have a circle of radius square root of 20, which is going to give me just a little bit bigger than 4. And I'm going to be I have the point 8, 1, so I'm going to be like, there's my point. We're going to have a tangent line that goes off that way, and we're going to have a tangent line that goes off that way. And we want to find out what they are. To do that, I'm going to start out by saying if I use the point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1, and plug in what I know that we have the y value is 1. We don't know the slope of that line yet, but we will. Plug that in and do a little bit of solving. I get y equals mx minus 8m plus 1. So I know that my slope is that, and my y-intercept is that. So with that information, I'm going to plug in to our other formula that we were given, well, on the previous page. And so I'm going to say the radius 20 is equal to the absolute value of the slope times x0 plus b minus y sub 0 all over square root of 1 plus m squared. And let's plug in what I know about it and then do a little bit of solving. I know that if we use our x sub naught and a y sub naught of 0, I get absolute value of m times